What is the true price of a promise? Is it a handful of gold, a chest of jewels, or something far more precious? What happens when a simple wish leads to an impossible choice, and a young woman must embark on a journey that will test the very limits of her heart? Welcome to Gift of the Magi, where today we explore a timeless tale of courage, sacrifice, and a love that refuses to be forgotten. This is the story of a brave lady and her enchanted lion. In a bustling port city, where the scent of salt and spice filled the air, lived a wealthy merchant. He was a kind man, respected by all, but his greatest treasures were not in his warehouses. They were his 3 daughters. The 2 eldest, Cassia and Alara, were beautiful, but their hearts were set on the glitter of the world. They dreamt of silks, pearls, and the admiration of the court. But the youngest, Amelia, was different. She found more joy in the song of a bird than in a string of gems, more beauty in a wildflower than in a golden brocade. Her father adored her for her gentle spirit and her compassionate heart. One morning, as the sun cast a golden glow over the harbor, the merchant prepared for a long and perilous voyage. He gathered his daughters in the grand foyer of their home. "Merchant, my dear children, I must be away for many months. To soften the ache of my absence, tell me, what gifts shall I bring you from the far corners of the world?" Cassia, her eyes gleaming with desire, "Oh, father, bring me a set of the finest, most luminous pearls from the southern seas, ones that shimmer like the moon on the water." Alara, and for me, father, a necklace of sparkling diamonds, so brilliant they outshine the stars themselves. Merchant, and you, my sweet Amelia, what treasure does your heart desire? Amelia, dearest father, your safe return is the only treasure I truly need. But if it is not too much trouble, I would love a singing nightingale, a bird whose melody can fill our home with happiness while you are away. Merchant, very well, my children. Pearls for Cassia, diamonds for Alara, and a singing nightingale for my Amelia. If I can find them, you shall have them. The merchant's journey was a great success. He traded his wares and filled his coffers. In a vibrant coastal market, he found a breathtaking strand of pearls for Cassia. In a dusty, hidden shop in a mountain city, he purchased a set of diamonds that glittered with an inner fire for Alara. But the singing nightingale, that was a different matter. He searched everywhere, from the grandest cities to the smallest villages. He found many birds, but none with the magical, melodious voice Amelia had dreamt of. His heart grew heavy. The thought of returning to his favorite daughter empty-handed was a burden he could not bear. His journey home took him through a vast, uncharted forest. Days turned into a week, and the merchant and his servant grew weary, their path winding deeper into the ancient woods. Just as despair began to set in, they stumbled upon a clearing. And there, bathed in an ethereal light, stood a magnificent, silent castle. It seemed to be carved from the very stone of the earth, covered in ivy and sleeping roses. And from a tall, silver-barked tree beside the castle walls came the most beautiful sound the merchant had ever heard. A nightingale was singing, its notes weaving a tapestry of pure, liquid melody. Merchant, at last. It is a sign. Go quickly, climb that tree, and bring me that bird. My Amelia will be overjoyed. But just as the servant's hand reached for the lowest branch, a thunderous roar shattered the peace. It was a sound so powerful it seemed to shake the leaves from the trees and the very air in their lungs. From the shadows behind the tree, a colossal lion emerged. Its mane was like a storm cloud, its eyes burned like hot coals, and its presence commanded absolute authority. "Lion, WHO dares trespass and attempt to steal my property? I will devour any thief who sets foot in my domain." Merchant, my apologies, mighty lord of this forest. I had no idea the bird belonged to you. I saw no one. Please spare my life. I will pay you any ransom you ask, gold, jewels, anything. Lion, your gold is worthless to me. Nothing can save you from my wrath. Unless you promise to give me the first thing that greets you upon your return home. Merchant, the first thing? Lion, the very first living being to meet you at your door. If you agree to this pact, I will not only spare your life, but you may also take the nightingale for your daughter. Servant, do not worry, master. Surely it will be one of the dogs or perhaps a cat from the kitchens. Your daughters will be waiting inside. It is a small price to pay for your life. The servant's words were a sliver of hope in a sea of fear. The merchant, desperate and seeing no other way out, reluctantly agreed. He made his solemn promise to the lion, took the cage with the beautiful nightingale, and fled the enchanted forest as if pursued by demons. When the merchant finally arrived home, his heart was a knot of dread and relief. And as he stepped through the grand entrance, his worst fear came to life. Not a dog, not a cat, but his beloved Amelia, having heard the carriage wheels, ran out to greet him first, her face alight with pure joy. Amelia, father, you've returned. I was so worried. Amelia, you found it. Oh, thank you, thank you. But the merchant could not share her happiness. His face was pale, his eyes filled with tears. He stumbled back and began to weep uncontrollably. Amelia, father, what is it? What has happened? Merchant, my dear, sweet Amelia, that beautiful bird. It has cost me more than all the gold in my coffers. For that nightingale, I had to make a terrible promise to a monstrous lion. I promised him the first person I met upon my return. And that was you. Amelia, father, listen to me. You taught us that a promise, once given, must be honored. It is a matter of integrity. I must go to the lion. Merchant, no, never. He will tear you to pieces. He is a monster. I will not allow it. Amelia, you also taught us not to fear what is written in our fate. My heart tells me that this is my path and that I will be safe. And the heart, as you have always said, is the truest guide. This is not a punishment, father, but the start of my true love's quest, though I do not yet understand its purpose. The next day, Amelia prepared for her journey. Her sisters wept, their tears a mixture of fear for her and perhaps a sliver of guilt for their own selfish requests. Her father pleaded with her one last time, but her resolve was unbreakable. Dressed in a simple traveling cloak, she bid her family a brave farewell and set off towards the enchanted forest. As she entered the woods, the path that had seemed so menacing to her father now appeared strangely welcoming to her. Sunlight filtered through the canopy, and the air was filled with the scent of pine and damp earth. When she finally reached the clearing with the silent castle, she did not find a monster waiting to devour her. Instead, a magnificent golden carriage stood waiting, harnessed not to horses, but to 4 majestic lions who watched her with intelligent, calm eyes. A 5th lion, larger than the rest, stepped forward. It was the prince. Lion Prince, welcome, my lady. I see your father is a man of his word. I am glad it was you who met him first, for your beauty is as radiant as your spirit is brave. I would be honored if you would consent to be my wife. Amelia, my lord, you honor me with your words. But I cannot understand your happiness. I fear you, for you are a lion. How could I ever marry a beast? Just as she spoke, a single, brilliant ray of moonlight pierced through the clouds and shone down into the clearing. As the light touched the lion, a wondrous change began. The powerful form of the beast dissolved into a shower of silver light. And where the great lion had stood, there was now a handsome prince, dressed in regal attire, with eyes that held the same wisdom and kindness she had seen in the lions. Prince, as you can see, I am not always as I appear. An evil enchantment was cast upon me and my entire court. By day, we are condemned to be lions. Only under the light of the moon can we regain our human forms. Your coming here, Amelia, your courage and your honoring of a promise. It feels like the truest gift of the Magi, a gift of hope in our world of shadows. Amelia's heart was filled with wonder and a sudden, undeniable warmth. She saw not a beast or a stranger, but a noble soul trapped in a tragic fate. She fell in love with the prince, not just for his handsome face, but for the gentle strength she had sensed in him even in his lion form. She agreed to marry him, and that very night, a grand wedding was held in the enchanted castle. Under the moon, the castle was alive with music, laughter, and courtiers in human form. They lived a strange but happy life. By night, they were husband and wife, a prince and princess ruling a joyous court. By day, they were lions sleeping in the sunlit gardens, a silent pride ruled by a deep, unspoken bond. Several happy months passed. One evening, the prince came to Amelia with news. "Prince, my love, there is to be a grand festival at your father's home to celebrate the wedding of your eldest sister, Cassia. If you wish to go, my lions will escort you with all the honor befitting a queen." Amelia: "Oh, that would be wonderful. I miss my father and my sisters so much." Prince: "Then I will arrange it at once." Amelia: "But my prince, I will not go alone. You must come with me. I want my family to meet the wonderful man I have married." Prince: "My queen, my love, that is far too dangerous. The enchantment is precise. If even the smallest beam of man-made light, a candle, a torch, were to touch me while I am in human form, the curse will change. I would be transformed into a white dove and forced to fly about the world for 7 long years." Amelia: "Do not worry. I will protect you. I will build a chamber for you with walls so thick and sealed so tightly that no light could possibly penetrate it. I will keep you safe." Narrator: The prince, swayed by her love and confidence, finally agreed. They set out for the wedding, arriving in a grand procession that astonished the entire city. The merchant and his daughters were overjoyed to see Amelia, safe and radiant. They welcomed the prince, charmed by his grace and nobility. True to her word, Amelia had a special hall constructed for the prince. The walls were thick stone, the windows were sealed, and heavy tapestries covered every inch. It was a fortress of darkness designed to protect him. However, the wood used for the doorframe was fresh and green. Under the heat of the many torches and candles lit for the wedding feast, the wood warped and split, creating a tiny, imperceptible crack, no wider than a single human hair. Late that night, as the wedding procession returned from the chapel, a servant carrying a torch passed by the door. For a fleeting second, a single, tiny ray of light lanced through the crack and fell upon the sleeping prince. In an instant, the magical transformation occurred. When Amelia returned to the chamber, her husband was gone. In his place, perched on the windowsill, was a lone, mournful white dove. "Dove, the curse has changed. For 7 years, I must now fly across the world. But I will not leave you without hope. At every 7th step I take upon the ground, I shall let fall a single white feather. Follow the trail, my love. If you can keep to the path, you may yet set me free." And with a final, sorrowful look, the white dove flew out into the night. Princess Amelia did not hesitate. Her heart shattered, but her spirit unbroken, she began her long and arduous pursuit. She followed the dove, her eyes fixed on the path, collecting the precious white feathers that marked his trail. For nearly 7 years, she walked. She crossed barren deserts where the sun beat down mercilessly. She climbed treacherous mountains where the ice and snow bit at her skin. She navigated dense, tangled forests where she lost all sense of time. She ate what she could find, slept where she could, and never, ever gave up hope, her heart aching for the enchanted prince she had lost. But one day, just as the 7 years were nearing their end, the trail of white feathers suddenly stopped. She was in a vast, empty wilderness with no sign of her beloved, no path to follow. She was utterly alone. Desperate, she climbed the tallest tree she could find, hoping to see something, anything, from above. As the sun began to rise, she called out to it. "Amelia, oh, magnificent sun! You shine upon everything, from the deepest valley to the highest peak. Have you in your travels seen a white dove flying by?" Sun: "No, little child, I have not seen your dove." but I sense the sorrow in your quest. Take this small casket. Do not open it until you are in your moment of greatest need. It may help you." Amelia thanked the sun and took the small, warm casket. She journeyed on until night fell. The moon rose, casting a silver light over the land. She called out to it, "Amelia, oh beautiful moon. You watch over the world all night, seeing what the sun cannot. Have you seen a white dove in your silent vigil?" Moon, "No, brave girl, your dove has not crossed my path. But your faithfulness is admirable. Take this egg. When your need is dire, crack it open." Amelia gratefully took the smooth, cool egg and continued her search. The night wind began to blow, whispering through the trees and across the plains. She spoke to it. "Amelia, oh restless wind. You travel everywhere, touching every leaf and every stone. Surely you have seen my white dove." Wind, "Yes, I have seen him. He has flown to the distant Caspian Sea. There, the 7 years have ended, and he has regained his form as a lion. But he is not free. He is locked in a desperate battle with a fearsome dragon who is actually an enchanted princess named Asteria. Amelia, how can I help him?" Wind, "I will help you. Take this magic wand. Go to the Caspian Sea. When you see the fight, point the wand at the dragon and say the word abracadabra. This will break her enchantment and allow the lion to overpower her. They will both then regain their human forms. A great winged griffin dwells by the sea. Hop onto its back with your prince, and it will carry you home." Filled with renewed purpose, Amelia traveled with the wind at her back until she reached the shores of the vast Caspian Sea. There, on the beach, was a terrible sight. Her lion prince, mighty and roaring, was locked in a ferocious battle with a great, fire-breathing dragon. Without a moment's hesitation, she raised the magic wand. "Amelia, abracadabra." The dragon crumbled to the sand, its power instantly gone. The lion prince placed a triumphant paw on its head. In a flash of light, he was a man again, her beloved prince. At the same time, the dragon transformed into a princess of stunning yet cold beauty. This was Asteria. But just as Amelia ran towards them, Asteria rose to her feet. Her eyes fell upon the handsome prince, and in that instant, she desired him for herself. She quickly muttered a new, powerful spell of forgetting. "Asteria, you will forget the one who followed you. Your heart now belongs to me." The prince's eyes glazed over. The memory of Amelia, of their love, of her 7-year quest, was wiped clean from his mind. Asteria took the confused prince by the arm, and with a wicked smile, they vanished in a swirl of purple smoke. "Amelia, no. Amelia, I will not give up. I have followed him across the world. I have spoken to the sun and the moon. I will find him again. I will not let her win." She found the majestic griffin waiting by the shore. She climbed onto its broad back and let the wind guide her. They flew for days and nights, finally arriving at a magnificent castle, far grander and colder than her own. Amelia knew in her soul that this was the place. She thanked the griffin and entered the nearby town. There, she learned that a grand festival was underway to celebrate the upcoming wedding of the kingdom's prince and the powerful princess Asteria. Her heart sank, but she remembered the gifts. She opened the casket from the sun. Inside was a dress so magnificent it seemed woven from pure sunlight. Then she cracked open the egg from the moon. Out popped a tiny golden hen with 5 golden chicks, all of whom chirped and pecked at the ground. Dressed in the sundress, holding the golden hen, Amelia walked into the castle. Everyone, from the servants to the nobles, stopped and stared, mesmerized by her otherworldly beauty and her magical possessions. The bride-to-be, Princess Asteria, saw her and was immediately consumed by envy and desire. "Asteria, that dress, that golden hen, they are magnificent. I must have them. Name your price." "Amelia, they are not for sale for gold or silver. but you may have them both on one condition. You must allow me to spend one night speaking with the bridegroom in his chamber, alone." Asteria hesitated. She was suspicious, but her greed for the beautiful things was overwhelming. She agreed, but secretly she had a plan. That evening, she ordered her loyal chamberlain to give the prince a powerful sleeping potion in his wine. But the prince, standing nearby, overheard their whispers. When the chamberlain brought him the drink, the prince confronted him. The terrified servant confessed the entire plan. "Prince, do as she says, but do not put the potion in the wine. Pour the wine out and leave the cup by my bed. I will pretend to be asleep." That night, Princess Amelia was led to the prince's dark chamber. Seeing him lying still on the bed, believing him to be in a deep, drugged sleep, she knelt beside him and began to speak, her voice thick with sorrow. "Amelia, my prince, for 7 long years I followed you. I walked until my feet bled. I followed your white feathers across the world. I went to the sun and the moon and the 4 winds just to find you. I helped you master the dragon. And now, will you truly forget me?" The prince, hearing the voice he knew from a life he couldn't quite remember, felt something stir in his heart. The fog of Asteria's spell began to thin. Her words were the key, unlocking the prison of his mind. He sat up. The spell was broken. "Prince, Amelia, it was all like a terrible dream. That which cast a spell on me made me forget everything. But your voice, your love, it has set me free, truly free. Amelia, oh my love, I thought I had lost you forever. Prince, we must leave this place now, before she discovers what has happened." They mounted the griffin, which soared into the night sky, carrying them back across the vast Caspian Sea, back towards their own enchanted forest. When they finally arrived home, a miracle awaited them. As the prince and princess set foot on their land, the curse on the entire castle was broken forever. All the lions transformed back into their human forms, cheering and rejoicing at the return of their true prince and his determined princess. The prince held Amelia close, his heart overflowing with love and gratitude. Her unwavering devotion, her incredible courage, and her refusal to give up had not only saved him but had restored happiness and life to their entire kingdom. They had faced monsters, magic, and despair, but in the end, the simple, powerful promise of a faithful heart had conquered all. If you were moved by Amelia's incredible journey of love and determination, please show your support by giving this video a like. And to ensure you don't miss our next tale from the gift of the Magi, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for notifications. Thank you for watching.